Hello everybody, your Big Beardy back again with another video, and today we're talking about how to get prepared for the winter season. It's that time of year again. It's a bit grey, it's a bit miserable, it's getting cold, those nights are closing in, and soon we're going to have some very icy roads and just generally not great conditions for doing what we do, so you need to be prepared for it. So, first of all, clothing, let's get that out of the way. If you watch some of my earliest videos, you'll notice that most of them I'm wearing a high-vis hoodie. These are fantastic. If you can, get one. If not, if you want to go spend a little bit more money, go and get the high-vis jackets, the waterproof jackets. They are very warm. They keep you dry. You know, they're designed for builders who are out in the cold and the wet all the time. They're very helpful. They've got, you know, the two main purposes. They keep you warm and dry, and they're very visible. So if you're like me, that you pull over on A roads all the time and you're jumping out the van, it's a bit of a safety thing. You can also go and get the high-vis hats, which make you look a bit weird, make you look like a bollard, but they're actually very comfy and very warm. So get yourself a high-vis jumper or jacket. You know, we've got to have these the high-vis vests in the van. You might as well get something that's going to give you another use as well, because staying dry and warm is key when you're driving around in the winter, because it's nigh on impossible if you're wet and cold to get dry and warm again, apart from if you change your clothes. So go and get yourself one of them, possibly the hat. Get yourself some really good gloves as well. The other thing you really want, and this might surprise some people, I don't know, is in your overnight bag or whatever bag you take with you, put loads of spare socks in. Might sound daft, but I drive around with my trainers on. Most trainers are not waterproof. So the second it will happen to you. You'll pull over, you'll jump out of the van, and you'll go straight into the biggest puddle you've ever seen in your life. Your feet are soaked, your socks are soaked, your shoes are soaked. Once you got to that point, they're not getting dry and they're not getting warm. So I usually have 3 or 4 pairs in my bag in the summer, just so that if I forget to put some, there's already some in there, sort of thing, you know. But in the winter, put 10 pairs in there. Because as soon as you get back in the van, shoes off, socks off, warm socks on. Trust me, it will save you a lot of hassle, especially if you do have to tramp and you've got cold feet. They will not get warm until you get home, and that could be 2 days away. So get some socks in your van. Also, obviously, long johns, undergarments, layers are key. Get yourself some warm gear in your van. Another thing that's quite good, which you should already have really if you're doing this job, is the removal blankets. You can buy them relatively cheaply and just put them in your van. They're actually really warm, so you can put one over your lap if you want. I look a bit like a granddad sometimes when I'm driving. I'm not afraid to say it. So get yourself some of those. They are actually very warm. That's the thing, you don't have much space in your van, so you want multi-purpose things. That's one of them. Right, next up, on to tramping. Tramping's not fun in the winter. It's really not. There are a couple of things you want to get. Like I said, the removal blankets, they will really help, because you get 3 or 4, put them over you when you're sleeping, will help. Also, if you've got a sleeping bag, see how many seasons it's made for. Sleeping bags actually go up to 4 seasons, and they're called 4 season sleeping bags. Most sleeping bags are only 2 seasons, spring and summer, so they're good for the spring and summer. You want at least a 3 season sleeping bag, preferably a 4. These are the ones that people who do winter camping and climb up mountains and go camping, do silly things in the winter outside. They will have a 3 or 4 season sleeping bag. They are very warm. They will be a godsend. They're not cheap though. Obviously, the lower temperature they can go to, the more expensive they're going to be. So you're looking at 100 quid plus, probably. So, but it might be a very good investment, especially if you know you're going to be tramping in the back of your van. Spend that little bit extra money, get a really good sleeping bag, and it will be a godsend to you. Another thing you want for safety reasons, you might want to look at getting winter tyres on your van. That not many people do in this country. I think it's because we have a very short period where it's actually icy. You know, it's the middle of November now, and I think my van said it was like 15 degrees outside. I'm like, what, something stupid. I was like, that can't be right, but I'm sitting here with my t-shirt on in the middle of November. I'm pretty warm. But when it does get icy though, and you've got a heavy load on the back of your van, you might want that extra traction. So getting winter tyres, it is an investment. They're not cheap, so it's sort of do you, don't you. I'll be honest, I haven't done it before, but if you know you're going to be carrying lots of heavy weights and you might live in an area where it does get very icy, bad roads, you might want to look and get in them. Next thing, safety wise, is get yourself a really good lamp. I can't remember where to put mine. It's in one of these pockets. Torch, I mean. Preferably a head torch. So you keep your hands free, because you're going to get the situation at some point where you get a flat tire, you're on a busy road, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's winter, so it's dark, it's cold, it's icy. You don't want to have to be messing around with stuff, so get yourself a headlamp. The best ones to get are actually fishing ones. There are lots of really good fishing headlamps, or I don't even know where you'd buy them, but like people that go caving, what's that called again? Caving. It is caving. Splunking. That might be the word I'm looking for. Or those, just some really good high power head torch, because it will help you if you have a breakdown or anything like that. And also, if you're doing multi-drops, which a lot of multi-drops happen in the winter, finding an address is a nightmare, especially if it's a named address. So it's like Sparrow's End or something, or Holly House, not numbered. Having a good torch, you can literally do it from your van. You can pull up to the house and look, and the torch lights up the whole house. Really helps, rather than you getting out, walking around in the cold looking for the address. Get yourself a really good head torch. Also, something you should invest in is one of those emergency triangles with the flashing light. You should probably have one anyway, in case you break down. One of the reasons I'm very concerned about people breaking down in the winter is, if you're going to break down, it's going to be in the winter. Your vans don't like the winter. My van every morning shouts at me. I turn it on and it goes, why the fuck are you turning me on? It's cold. So, yeah, they don't like it. So, and if you're going to have a problem, it's going to be at the worst possible time. A few other things you might want in your van. Obviously, always have a bottle of water in your van, especially in the summer and especially in the winter. When it comes to like the RSC or the AA or someone coming to our house, we're actually very low priority. You know, you think families with kids, women on their own, take precedence above us. Anyone who's in a dangerous situation or on a motorway comes before us. So we're actually quite low down. I think the only group of people that are lower than a man in a van for priority for the rescuing services are 2 men in a van. So you might be waiting a long time. So have some snacks, some, you know, something with sugar, hard-boiled sweets. You can get them from service stations. Have some of them in there just to keep your sugar levels up, and always have at least a full bottle of water in case you do break down. Keep yourself hydrated. It's very important. So, top tips for when you're doing winter stuff. When looking for work, if you can get that multi-drop work, and everyone knows I don't like multi-drops, in those winter months it is actually a benefit. Couple of reasons: you know you're going to be doing it for a long period of time, and you're going to be close to home. Also, you're more than likely going to be in a city, so if you do have an issue, you're in a city, you're going to get signal rather than being out in the sticks. If you get a job that's out in the sticks, you're a bit screwed, but not going into that. And it will, like I said, you'll be on the job for more than one day. It might take you through all the way through the winter, and that means you will probably not be tramping. Oh, I've got a little bit of gas there. So, look at getting those multi-drop jobs in the winter. That's the best time for doing them. Rest of the year, they can bugger off. Next up, I always phone my wife on the way home. There's a couple of reasons I do this. One, it keeps her happy. And two, if I say I'm going to be home at 7 o'clock and I'm not home by 7:30, she will call me. Just to make sure I haven't had an accident, or I'm not stuck, or, you know, on a muddy field or something, or, you know, with the ice, the van hasn't got stuck. At least that way, if there's someone keeping an eye on you. You know, it's a safety thing, and it's, you know, for 95% of people out there, it's never going to be an issue. But it's a good idea just to phone someone at home and say, listen, I think I'm going to be home at this time. If I'm not, give me a call. Also, if you are on the CX and you're watching this, they can track you pretty much. They can go onto the CX and they can see where your van signal is, or they can use Google Maps and see where you are, so they know what's happened to you. It's great if you do have a problem. It's not so good if you try and have a sneaky pint at the pub. The wife can figure out where you are. Just so you know there, people out there. So that's another good thing to do. Next up, tramping. Like I said, it's not great in the winter. I don't enjoy winter. I try and avoid it. So if you do regularly tramp, but you think actually it's a bit cold, get on your phone bookings.com or lastminutebookings.com. If you go on there about 7 o'clock the night you're trying to a night you're trying to get the hotel, you can get one for about 25 quid for the night. It's not ideal to do every night, but for that one-off real cold night, it can be a godsend. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, it's a nightmare being out in the winter. Keep warm, keep safe, you know, do things smart. Oh, don't take shortcuts. I must have had 3 people last year phone me up, friends of mine who are couriers and whatnot, and say I'm in a field or I'm stuck on this road, you know, because I can't, because it's too icy. And I'm like, well, how come? Well, I took a shortcut. Stay to the main roads. The little country roads that might save 10 minutes off your journey will not be gritted. They will be a nightmare. And if you've got a weight on the back, you might go down a road that with an empty van is a piece of piss. But when you've got a weight on the back, that's a whole different story. So don't take these little shortcuts. Obviously, if you've got to go down a country lane because the delivery's there, fair enough. But don't take the shortcuts. Especially if you're multi-dropping, plan your route a bit and try and stick to those main roads as much as possible. So I hope this helps some people out there. As always, please like, comment and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. I got some big things coming up. And be safe out there and have a great day.